That was an abomination to the sport of basketball.
And unfortunately, I am with the majority here who thought that it wasn't the greatest game. Like, there wasn't that much effort that was shown on the court. This WNBA All-Star Weekend was my first in person. I felt like the players were so excited and happy to be there. They just didn't put that much effort on the court. And I also have to admit that I left during the third quarter. I just kind of couldn't take it anymore.
Instead of serving as a celebration of women's basketball at its best, the WNBA All-Star Game served as a sobering reminder of how heavily the league relies on a single player. The whole weekend fell apart faster than a house of cards during a hurricane when Caitlin Clark declared she wouldn't be taking part because of a groin issue. Fans mentally leaving before the second quarter had ended, empty seats, and falling ticket prices.
And Uncle Casey almost feels bad for the players in the WNBA. Yesterday was supposed to be a day of celebration. The rainbow flags were flying. The standard and supersized cucumbers were prepared. This was supposed to be a big weekend for pretend basketball.
This wasn't just another disappointing All-Star game. This revealed the WNBA's Caitlin Clark dependency issue in its entirety. The figures also don't lie. One thing became quite evident after Team Collier defeated Team Clark 151 to 131. The WNBA All-Star Game was as thrilling as watching paint dry in slow motion without Caitlin Clark on the court.
We see ticket prices dropping very fast. Folks, the get-in price, if you live in Indiana and you got nothing better to do, the get-in price, you might want to throw a couple 50, 60, 70 bucks just to get in to the WNBA All-Star Game, something to do.
Did anyone really care that Nisa Collier broke records with 36 points and won MVP? During finals week, the arena was as lively as a library. The entire story was revealed by the ticket price crash. Prior to Clark's injury news, TickPick's get-in fees were $121.
Nafisa Collier's team was winning by over 20 points at halftime, and I was like, you know what? Like, let's watch Glorilla perform at halftime. Let's see if they come out a little bit stronger in the third quarter and start to play a little bit more defense. But the lead just got further and further away, and I decided to go back to the hotel and just get ready for my next event. I will say we did go to the game.
It was announced within hours that the 2025 ESP Best WNBA Player winner would not be wearing a uniform. Those same tickets fell to only 64, a startling 48% decline. Folks, that's more than simply a market correction. It's a total evacuation.
Man, I'm disappointed. The WNBA All-Star Game was dumpster juice. Boo-boo water. Doo-doo water. You hear me? Whatever you want to call it. Man, that is... But the crazy thing is, what I did appreciate about the game was, my precious CC was the coach, and she was looking happy, and she was smiling ear to ear.
Enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe. And it gets worse. According to Front Office Sports, Saturday's event had the highest average purchase price in WNBA All-Star Game history at $262. The secondary market, however, turned into a fire sale as soon as fans learned they wouldn't be able to see the Clark concert in Indianapolis. Essentially, courtside seats that had been selling for more than $1,000 were being given away.
Caitlin Clark, she was officially ruled out before all of these things, and look at the news that dropped. This is wild. WNBA All-Star Weekend is supposed to be the star of all stars. All the big dogs is out. Asia Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, everybody's out. The big dogs are out. You got the rookie, you got Angel Reese, Miss Me Too. All of the stars are here, and look at this news. The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48% from $121 to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing.
Even more telling than the figures was the image. You could see vacant areas strewn throughout Gainbridge Fieldhouse during the game. These weren't merely concession stands or lavatory breaks. A glorified pickup game with minimal defense and people making four-pointers like they were playing NBA 2K with their sliders maxed out was what these spectators were expecting when they came to see Magic. The lack of Caitlin Clark destroyed the entertainment value of the entire weekend in addition to harming the game itself. Wearing a Pay Us What You Owe Us t-shirt, the woman who garnered the most fan votes in WNBA All-Star history, more than 1.29 million, was reduced to coaching from the sidelines. The irony was obvious. When your top player isn't even able to play, how can you compensate them fairly?
Well, would you look at that? Prices for the WNBA All-Star Game have plummeted 49% after Caitlin Clark was ruled out due to injury, per TickPick. I can't say that I'm surprised by this at all. I mean, no matter how much you love her or hate her, Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA. When she goes, the ratings go. Simply put.
There was a considerable gap left by Caitlin Clark's absence from the WNBA All-Star festivities, which affected both the Team Clark game and the three-point competition. Fans were anticipating an exciting matchup between Clark and defending champion Sabrina Ionescu, so the three-point competition on Friday night was sure to be a highlight. Instead, the euphoria died down without Clark. Lexi Hall took over as a substitute. Despite being a good player, she was unable to match Clark's shooting range or star power. It was like seeing a cover band attempt to mimic the Beatles. Good effort, but it's just not the same. The excitement, anticipation, and star power that Clark would have contributed were greatly lost, making what had once been a spectacular occasion a drab show. The actual All-Star game followed. With players like A.A. Wilson, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell in their roster, Team Clark was formidable. However, the team didn't look cohesive right away without Clark at the forefront. They fell by 20 points because they were unable to establish any rhythm and trailed for the most of the match. Their body language conveyed their dissatisfaction. It was impossible to overlook Clark's absence from the court, despite the fact that she was on the bench. The team appeared to be playing in the shadow of what may have been, burdened by the expectations associated with her name.
How are you gonna wear a shirt, pay us what you owe us, and then continue to play the worst fucking game I have ever seen in my life? Zero defense.
Nafisa Collier, the team leader, assisted in setting a new record. With 282 points overall, it was the highest-scoring All-Star game in league history. However, the game that many viewers found challenging, even dull, was hidden beneath those eye-catching statistics. The primary issue is a complete absence of competitive energy. The game felt more like a friendly shootout than a matchup between the league's top teams, and defense was virtually non-existent. There was no genuine sense of drama, no strategic pairings, and no physicality. The recently added four-point line was frequently used by players to launch shots, which initially looked thrilling, but soon became monotonous. The gimmicky manner alienated fans rather than won them over. It has been reported that a large portion of the audience was more focused on their phones than the game. However, the impending decline in TV ratings was what truly brought attention to the game's flaws. Even though the exact figures were still pending, analysts were already forecasting a significant drop from the record-breaking 3.44 million viewers from the previous year.
They shot 58 threes. You hear me? Man, I don't agree with that. Wasn't nobody playing defense. See, there's a reason why they don't get paid what they supposed to get paid at the end of the day. You hear me? Like, come on now. Stop it. Like, play defense. Make it interesting. Like, be competitive. You hear me? Like, it ain't like y'all just don't be trying to hurt people for real. Just like in the NBA All-Star game, they be playing defense. They don't be hurting each other. I mean, they'll bruise each other a little bit, but come on now.
This year, the buzz just wasn't there without Clark. Her absence had an impact on more than simply the caliber of play. It also demonstrated how important she is to the league's expansion and visibility. The WNBA is currently at a turning point. The league must reconsider its structure and approach if it hopes to maintain the All-Star game as a major event, figuring out how to keep fans interested in the game even when their biggest star isn't playing. It was perfectly summed up by Skip This. Other celebrities are undoubtedly content in private. In order to receive more of the recognition they feel they are due, Caitlin Clark will not be attending the WNBA's All-Star Weekend. Rather, declining numbers will highlight the fact that she is the primary cause of the W's explosive rise in popularity. He was correct. At last, Angel Reese, Paige Buers, and the other All-Stars were able to shine without having to live in Clark's shadow. But you know what? It didn't really matter to anyone. The overall product felt like a huge step backward for women's basketball. The enthusiasm was manufactured, and the atmosphere was flat.
The WNBA All-Star Game is very disappointing. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You're trying to fight negotiations and CBA, and you want more money and shit like that. You gotta give people something exciting to watch. I could have watched a group of first graders play that game, and it would have been more exciting. Now, I'm an NBA guy, and I watch tons of All-Star games. So I don't really expect lockdown defense and hustle plays and diving on the floor and shit like that. I get it, it's an all-star game. However, at least you could have picked up the pace at halftime, third quarter, or maybe try to keep the game close. Because the score really doesn't tell me how the game went. It wasn't like one team was dominating the other team. The only reason one team was up by so much is because the other team was missing their shots. Because that's all I saw.
The number of tickets sold decreased from $262 to $121 to $64 for those who do not believe in the CC effect. My dear CC. That's awful. It dropped by 48%. Do you hear me? That's crazy. Therefore, everyone who is criticizing my precious CC should realize that the Caitlin Clark effect is real. There is a real CC effect. I have a real precious CC. Do you hear me? Her name deserves some respect from you all. Isn't that crazy? We wanted to see my beloved CC and no one else.